Hey guys, Moms Against Medical Bullying. I just want to talk about when we separate from people from in our lives, family members specifically, when we choose to kind of remove ourselves from specific relationships because we feel that the person is being too disrespectful, the person just treats you poorly, and cannot respect you. So then the relationship becomes negative, or one person just experiences anxiety or negative emotions from dealing with the other person. So I was thinking about how, like, when we separate or choose not to speak to specific people that we're related to, and not because we're angry at them or because we have a grudge with them or because we hate them, but just because we hate how they treat us, or we hate how they essentially abuse us in a way, and speak down to us. But when we do that, it's like, you ever wonder why you still kind of care, even though in your mind you're like, you feel better. You're like, I'm kind of glad I don't really speak to that person much because I feel better not doing that. Because when I do engage with them, I feel bad and nervous or anxious, But in our minds, so we kind of have it settled in our minds, but I feel like sometimes we can still be sad over those things, or those things can strike our hearts and we can become emotional about it. And you think, like, why am I becoming emotional about this if sorry. Like, why am I becoming emotional about this if I've already settled in my mind that what the situation is? And I think that it's because because the situation is less than what God's design is, as like God's design is for family units to, operate in harmony and love. And so when the situation is less than that, I think our hearts can still grieve that, even though in our minds we know that we don't want to be connected with that person because they're hurtful and they hurt us. I feel that in our hearts we can grieve that because, if the situation were different, if the person were honorable, if the person knew how to treat the other honorably instead of abusively, then we would want to be in a relationship with the person. We would want to speak to them, we would want to engage with them. But the problem is we have to protect ourselves because they're not capable of that. They're not capable of engaging with you and accepting you as a person without belittling you or speaking down to you or name calling you. So I think that we cry or become sad not specifically over the person, and not having that person necessarily, but not having that design, that relationship, what it was intended to be. It was intended to be a blessing, but it has fell from that. So I think that that's what could cause the grief to strike our hearts here and there when we think about relationships that could be, but this just that they can't be at the moment because it's unhealthy. So that's all I wanted to share.